Baby in my arms as I rock this tune. Sun's rolling in, he's got wheels on the move. Warrior on the front lines, respect overdue. Every day is a hustle, but I wouldn't trade it crew. Daughter shines bright, love her special ways. Gardener, true crime, are keeping busy all day. Counselor's wisdom, I'm here to stay. Momming it up, come what may. Momming it up, yeah, I'm living the dream. Love's battlefield never as hard as it seems. I'm diapers and wheelchairs, got my team, giving my all. Life is a stream, chatting about mysteries in the midnight glow. Planting seeds of patience, watch them grow. Whoa, whoa, let the garden show. Momming it up, ain't got time for no slow. Daughter shines bright, love her special ways. Gardener, true crime, are keeping busy all day. Counselor's wisdom, I'm here to stay. Momming it up, come what may. Daughter shines bright, love her special ways. Gardener, true crime, are keeping busy all day. Counselor's wisdom, I'm here to stay. Momming it up, come what may. But momming it up, yeah, I'm living the dream. Love's battlefield never as hard as it seems. From diapers to wheelchairs, got my team, giving my all. Life is a stream, momming it up, yeah, I'm living the dream. Love's battlefield never as hard as it seems. From diapers to wheelchairs, got my team, giving my all. Life is a stream. Life is a stream. Love is a stream. Chatting about mysteries in the midnight glow. Planting seeds of patience, watch them grow. Whoa, whoa, let the garden show. Momming it up, ain't got time for no slow. Baby in my arms as I rock this tune. Sun's rolling in, he's got wheels on the move. Warrior on the front lines, respect overdue. Every day is a hustle, but I wouldn't trade it crew. Daughter shines bright, love her special ways. Gardener, true crime, are keeping busy all day. Counselor's wisdom, I'm here to stay. Momming it up, come what may. Momming it up, yeah, I'm living the dream. Love's battlefield never as hard as it seems. I'm diapers and wheelchairs, got my team, giving my all. Life is a stream, chatting about mysteries in the midnight glow. Planting seeds of patience, watch them grow. Whoa, whoa, let the garden show. Momming it up, ain't got time for no slow. Daughter shines bright, love her special ways. Gardener, true crime, are keeping busy all day. Counselor's wisdom, I'm here to stay. Momming it up, come what may. Daughter shines bright, love her special ways. Gardener, true crime, are keeping busy all day. Counselor's wisdom, I'm here to stay. Momming it up, come what may. But momming it up, yeah, I'm living the dream. Love's battlefield never as hard as it seems. From diapers to wheelchairs, got my team, giving my all. Life is a stream, momming it up, yeah, I'm living the dream. Love's battlefield never as hard as it seems. From diapers to wheelchairs, got my team, giving my all. Life is a stream. Life is a stream. Love is a stream. Chatting about mysteries in the midnight glow. Planting seeds of patience, watch them grow. Woo! garden show, momming it up, ain't got time for no slow. Baby in my arms as I rock this tune, sun's rolling in, he's got wheels on the move. Warrior on the front lines, respect overdue. Every day is a hustle, but I wouldn't trade it, crew. Daughter shines bright, love her special ways. Gardener, true crime, are keeping busy all day. Counselor's wisdom, I'm here to stay. Momming it up, come what may. Momming it up, yeah, I'm living the dream. Love's battlefield never as hard as it seems. I'm dying for some wheelchairs, got my team, giving my all. Life is a stream, chatting about mysteries in the midnight glow. Planting seeds of patience, watch them grow. Whoa, whoa, let the garden show. Momming it up, ain't got time for no slow. Daughter shines bright, love her special ways. Gardener, true crime, are keeping busy all day. Counselor's wisdom, I'm here to stay. Momming it up, come what may. Daughter shines bright, love her special ways. Gardener, true crime, are keeping busy all day. Counselor's wisdom, I'm here to stay. Momming it up, come what may. But momming it up, yeah, I'm living a dream. Love's battlefield never as hard as it seems. From diapers to wheelchairs, got my team, giving my all. Life is a stream, momming it up, yeah, I'm living the dream. Love's battlefield never as hard as it seems. From diapers to wheelchairs, got my team, giving my all. Life is a stream. Life is a stream. Life is a stream. Chatting about mysteries in the midnight glow. Planting seeds of patience, watch them grow. Whoa, 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 let the garden show, momming it up, ain't got time for no slow. Baby in my arms as I rock this tune, sun's rolling in, he's got wheels on the move. Warrior on the front lines, respect overdue. Every day is a hustle, but I wouldn't trade it, crew. Daughter shines bright, love her special ways. Gardener, true crime, are keeping busy all day. Counselor's wisdom, I'm here to stay. Momming it up, come what may. Momming it up, yeah, I'm living the dream. Love's battlefield never as hard as it seems. I'm dying for some wheelchairs, got my team, giving my all. Life is a stream, chatting about mysteries in the midnight glow. Planting seeds of patience, watch them grow. Whoa, whoa, let the garden show. Momming it up, ain't got time for no slow. Daughter shines bright, love her special ways. Gardener, true crime, are keeping busy all day. Counselor's wisdom, I'm here to stay. Momming it up, come what may. Daughter shines bright, love her special ways. Gardener, true crime, are keeping busy all day. Counselor's wisdom, I'm here to stay. Momming it up, come what may. But momming it up, yeah, I'm living the dream. Love's battlefield never as hard as it seems. From diapers to wheelchairs, got my team, giving my all. Life is a stream, momming it up, yeah, I'm living the dream. Love's battlefield never as giving my all. Life is a stream. Life is a stream. Life is a stream. Chatting about mysteries in the midnight glow, planting seeds of patience, watch them grow. Whoa, whoa, let the garden show, momming it up, ain't got time for no slow. Baby in my arms as I rock this tune, sun's rolling in, he's got wheels on the move, warrior on the front lines, respect overdue, every day is a hustle but I wouldn't trade it crew. Daughter shines bright, love her special ways, gardener, true crime, are keeping busy all day, counselor's wisdom, I'm here to stay, momming it up, come what may, momming it up.
Hello, everybody. Hope that you're having a wonderful Saturday afternoon. Oops, sorry about that. Hope you're having a wonderful Sunday afternoon. I think I said Saturday. I wanted to just let you all know that I appreciate all your kind comments and your emails. It was really thoughtful, and I really don't usually read the hateful ones. I just document them. So it was really nice. I was going through some of the emails and things, and it was so really kind and thoughtful, and I appreciate you. Today, I decided we're going to go over some of the words that have been said surrounding the disappearance of this young teenager, Sebastian. I'm going to show you a little clip that a friend of mine put together and kind of let you know that I didn't have a reason to focus so much on the specific wording that a lot of creators and people were using and saying and things that were transpiring online until I was constantly being brought up on channels. It was very weird. I noticed a correlation, and it was discussed on one of these channels, to the fact that it seems the three ladies that are constantly being discussed, we all have autistic children. There's a beautiful woman, a mom, Julie Skulnick. She has been an author about the very unsettling statistics that are forming around autistic children and their lives being lost at the hands of their caregivers. And there's a lot of things that are really upsetting to so many of us that have wanted to advocate for change, but also talk about Sebastian Rogers, because the red flags that were everywhere were astounding, and he deserved to be found just like every missing person. And then there was this weird group of creators that seemed to hone in and zone in on certain individuals, not wanting us to have our opinions, attacking us on a level that didn't make any sense. And I didn't realize that there was a connection. I thought I had my own theories for why it was going on with me. But then today a light bulb went off, and I realized, wow, there's videos being made constantly about Julie. There's videos about Brittany J. And then I've been brought up a lot, and I wasn't partaking, right? I wasn't actually doing content and on panels, and it was weird. It was really bizarre. But we all have autistic children, so that's really unsettling, considering Sebastian Rogers, when he was brought to our attention through international media and social media, he was highlighted in a way of being a eloper, right? He came across to a lot of us that are affected by profound to severe autism as a possible eloper that scares us like no other, because so many times they often end up in water. So I just noticed that there was this really interesting correlation, it seems, with focusing on me and these other ladies and bringing up that we have autistic children. It was a little disturbing. So I decided I'm going to start using my free time to come on and keep talking about this, keep talking about the red flags that I've seen now, because I can use my voice for some good. Since everybody wants to say that we don't have a right to have our opinions, I say I have a right to advocate not only for my own children, but for all different abilities, because that is our job. So we're supposed to be momming it up. We're supposed to be doing the right thing, and we are supposed to protect our most vulnerable. And if you're not here for that, if you don't care about the most vulnerable and you don't care about our children, then go find somewhere else to be. There's no reason to be watching content in channels that you have no interest in. So this is when I decided that this was gotten out of control. Let me play this for you really quick. This funny little clip a friend of mine had made. Because it was absolutely not true. I haven't tried to go on panels with these people. I've never emailed them. I've never bothered them. I was asked once in September when I was in the middle of a move to join a panel, and that was it. And I have never made contact. And I just recently started addressing this because they put my name and my character on the line to be reviewed by thousands upon thousands of people. And it was very upsetting because I do advocate for my children. I enjoy talk radio. I enjoy doing content. And my whole reason for relocating was to get the services and also respite that our children and my family needs, so that I could get back to doing things that I do love, like content creating, talk radio, independent investigative journalism, all the things that I love to do that have nothing to do with my job. But when you're thrown into something like this, it's going to burn bridges. For months, I found out that me and a lot of other people were being cloned, unbeknownst to any of us. We were appearing in chat rooms across this network of content creators, making us look unhinged, making us look weird and wackadoo. And none of us knew, because we have families, we have jobs, and we have a lot of responsibilities when you're a caregiver of medically complex children. It is exhausting. We do cry sometimes when we are talking and trying to raise awareness, because our job is a lot harder than any of these people seem to understand, nor do they care. So when you're going to be putting me out there in that manner, I'm going to have to start rebuttaling. I was looking the other way, and clearly that got me nowhere. So now we're going to spend my energy, when I do have my little respite, to keep putting Sebastian out there, because I feel like the red flags around his disappearance, with the stepfather, the mother, and the team that has said that they are a team, needs to be looked into on a level that we need law enforcement. We need Aiden from the Laura Lodge and other people to really take time and get all of these things sorted out, to try to understand why this has been happening, to try to understand why this young man's family went to their friends and networked in a manner that seems to not help find the missing teenager, but it does go after other people. And it's very unsettling. And I wish that I didn't have to say these things, but I do have to say that I am uncomfortable in my real life for a long time. There has been a lot of things that have been disturbing that has gone on. And the go-to show, the go-to nonsense when people have shared their experiences of where's your police reports and all of this nonsense is ridiculous, because you have to have a substantial amount of documentation to go present a judge to show why there is harassment or why you need a protective order. People can skirt the law and be very creepy in your real life and online and get away with it. And that doesn't change the fact that it has happened to a lot of people. And I think that it needs to be looked into. On top of the disappearance, a lot of us didn't want to be distractions because there's been nothing but distraction surrounding Sebastian. However, I think that there is some very disturbing things happening, and my family and everybody else that are being put on these people's panels. And I think, it's scary. It really is. And God forbid anything was ever to happen to me or my family. I need to make sure that the public knows. Please look into all of this. Please look into everything that I'm talking and sharing, because none of us that I am aware of have ever bothered any of these individuals. All we are doing is raising awareness on the profound, severe autistic community and what happens all the time in the disappearance of many of these children usually is linked to a caregiver. I know that it's 1 out of 3,000 disappearances that are not runaways, but statistics are skewed in different when it comes to autistic children and when it comes to a lot of children with medically complex disabilities or behavioral and lower cognitive function. So anyway, I'm sorry I'm going on tangents, but here's a little video my friend tried to make to, kind of give me a little bit of a smile regarding all this, because I was like, oh, I don't want to lose opportunities for the future because people like this are lying so profoundly about myself and others.
I have no idea.
Who's in the back chat?
This is ridiculous with YouTube. I don't know what is going on with this.
No idea. Hold on.
It's that fucking psycho. Who's in the back chat?
I have no idea. Hold on.
It's that fucking psycho. Under Chris's name. Too.
Yeah.
I see it in the back chat. Yeah.
So who is this person?
I do. That's the person that's attached to that woman that accused you, Clue, of having something to do with it.
I have no idea who it is, to be honest.
What the hell's her name again? She was making those anti-sex videos, and out of nowhere she went nuts on us. Remember?
Momming it up.
You talking about momming it up?
Oh, yeah, that's her, man.
You talking about momming it up? You talking about momming it up? You talking about momming it up?
I am so much you know. You're making it hard for me, baby. You don't stop. Why the fuck you lying? Okay. Why you always lying?
That I watch occasionally. Like sometimes it's entertainment. Like sometimes it's entertaining. Sometimes, like, I'm not gonna lie, like it's like, okay, like you have a voice, you have a face for radio. Like, let's be realistic. I'm sorry. Nobody will ever.
Who's in the back chat?
I have no idea. Hold on.
It's that fucking psycho.
Um,
Under Chris's name, too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I see it in the back chat. Yeah.
So who is this person?
I don't.
I do. That's the person that's attached to that woman that accused you, Clue, of having
I
something
have
to do
no
with
idea
it.
who it is, to be honest.
What the hell's her name again? She was making those anti-Seth videos, and out of nowhere, she went nuts on us. Remember?
Momming it up. You talking about?
Yeah, I have no idea what's going on with this. No idea. I don't know why it's being like this. I've had issues with the YouTube, and I thought it was because of what was happening with TikTok. I have a really good brand new computer, so I don't know what's happening. My speeds are great. Did the antivirus. So I'm sorry for the constant buffering. I'm not quite sure. I did reach out to a friend of mine that does all kinds of the IT stuff and see if he could try to help me figure out what's going on. But everybody that I've heard from is saying YouTube. And when I check Down Detector, it seems that YouTube has stuff happening as well. So we're just going to do the best we can, and I'll talk here and there in the interim. Hi, Victoria. Thank you for your opinion. But unfortunately, I feel that I do want to now just focus on discussing all these inconsistencies and red flags. That's all that we can do, because they are coming from people that are saying they're directly working with the stepfather, so and the private investigator from the family. So I do think it's important to discuss these things, since they are slandering me and other moms on these different channels consistently, and putting out really dangerous accusations. So since I'm waiting for this to actually load here, the video I wanted you guys to listen to, where Chris talks about doxing, I want to just quickly get the social media disclaimer and statement out for all of you that it's scrolling. It's been scrolling at the bottom of your screen. It's in my About Me section, and it's usually I usually remember to check to make sure it's always in the description and then in the pinned comments, but I'm going to read it on each show anyway, in case somebody, doesn't notice that it's everywhere. But social media disclaimer and statement from myself is, in this digital age, we engage in discussions about true crime, current events, and societal issues. The content shared here, including posts, comments, and discussions, consists of personal opinions, speculation, and open dialogue. This is not professional or legal advice. We exercise our legal right to free speech in the USA. And tomorrow we will be getting a new president that will be sworn in. I know that they said that, I think it was President Trump that has now enabled TikTok to come back on, and they're going to work out a resolution on that. So maybe we won't have to worry as much about all of these disclaimers for just speaking freely under our constitutional rights, but we'll see. It has been really wonky to navigate. So we exercise our legal right to free speech in the USA, engaging in open discourse on public matters. Our discussions may include sensitive topics, unsolved cases, and even ongoing investigations. When we are discussing different crime stories, remember that all content is for informational and discussion purposes only. Opinions expressed are not statements of fact. We encourage critical thinking and independent research. Always consult professionals for legal, medical, or personal advice. And by engaging with my content on Momming It Up, you acknowledge that I have given you this disclaimer and you understand it. We reserve the right to moderate discussions to maintain a respectful environment as well. So thank you for listening to the disclaimer for Momming It Up. Now I want to head over here and let you hear a little bit about the red flags that I heard when it comes to a few things. One of them was doxing. Thought that was pretty unsettling, to say the least, amongst many other red flags. And I want to welcome everybody that came to the chat. I can see everybody on the one YouTube channel: Shauna, Truckin, Victoria, Rosebud, Lisa, everybody over there. I would like to say hello to you all and let you know that I appreciate each and every one of you, and your opinions do matter here, but hate has no home here. So I am an advocate for the medically complex, for the autistic community, and I say so because I am a proud mother of medically complex children and autistic children. And I feel that it is important that we all advocate using our voice for certain matters that have touched our lives, because there is no one better to advocate on certain things than those of us directly affected by them. So I do use advocate a lot. And I have actually been an advocate in my real life. I have helped parents, advocating for different things, helping them with insurance letters for special, surgeries, going to CSE meetings to help parents along the lines of getting certain things in place for, 504 plans. So I've been a parent advocate. And I know a lot of people like to say, where's their credentials? But I don't think that any of us have to have any kind of credentials, because advocating is something that is a right. And I think it's not only a right, but a responsibility in many instances. So let's go over here and listen to a little bit of this discussion that was had on May 18th. And I find it very interesting because, as you will notice, there's some times here. So the dates of this discussion was on the 18th of May. And then it does look that if you go through two of these creators' channels, there was a direct change that occurred where it became a constant attack on certain people. So it was constantly going over Seth Rogers, constantly going over Julie, constantly going over Brittany, constantly throwing my name around for whatever reason at the time. It's very interesting when you look at the dates of everything, because the dates don't lie.
Very confused as to why they did. I mean, knowing what I know about polygraphs and what you have to do and all this stuff.
No, I don't appreciate this Nina Glass person. I think she's another bat crazy bitch, but it is what it is. I think the act of doxing people is literally the dumbest shit someone could ever do. First and foremost, let me no, I don't appreciate this Nina Glass person. I think she's another bat crazy bitch, but it is what it is. I think the act of doxing people is literally the dumbest shit someone could ever do. First and foremost, let me reel myself in for a second. If you're on these internet streets, okay, and you got any kind of stuff in your past that's going to make you look bad, would it be put out or anything like that? You probably shouldn't be on these internet streets at all. Because eventually, if that dirt comes out, you're a dirty person and no one should trust you. Now,
Interesting. Considering she has trolling on her community posts, we can take a look at it if you'd like. And she was talking about the man she was married to and how he just got out of jail from spending, 10 years for child P. And it looked like when you read it, it was all over X, and she talked about it on her channel, that it was as young as 18 months old. So it's interesting that she has community posts about being the master troll, and she's going to have so much fun in 2025, changes her thumbnail to a blonde-haired, blue-eyed woman, throws my name out there. Yeah, very interesting. Very interesting how she can say all of this.
Lucky for you people, most of the world is idiot. They're all stupid. But I don't understand the purpose of doxing people, like, at all. I think if you guys bring this schoolyard internet bullshit into real life, you're just the lowest that low can go. But that's just me. You know what I mean? I kind of feel like you're all fucking crazy, to be fair. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Most of the creators on here are fucking crazy. Like batshit crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And then we watched some the other night about like swatting and shit. And it's like, what the okay. Yeah.
And you'll hear how, they collected everybody's addresses for bracelets. And now she's out there talking about how she's the master troll and she's going to have so much fun in 2025. This is really, really great for a missing child, right? That this is the person that has been working with the parents, Christopher and Katie, that is out there actively knocking on doors, searching in neighborhoods. This is wonderful, right? Really nice.
In their shows, or those creators think
as fuck. I think Dolly is very clear about, but I could see from your perspective where you wouldn't think what he's saying is funny, right? So,
well, here's what I think is funny with Dolly. If people on their shows, or those creators think that they cannot be doxxed, and trust me, they cannot have things done to them just as they do to other folks, they are sadly mistaken. To give you I was very polite about it. His moderator came on and sent me and my wife a message asking us to go on in their shows, or well, here's what I think is funny with Dolly. If people on their shows, or those creators think that they cannot be doxxed, and trust me, they cannot have things done to them just as they do to other folks, they are sadly mistaken.
Are you listening to his words?
To give you I was very polite.
Appreciate their content, even if you don't like what they say.
He's talking to everybody, right? Everybody. This is May 18th. Yeah, I don't know whose team is whose team, Lisa, because me and many other people that I have found have no team, never have. Just like the journalist that I played last night and everybody in the beginning on the 8th day of the disappearance, we all came to this for Sebastian, not for a team, not for a creator. And you'll see later on how Granny's watching. Her whole chat didn't even know the name of who Katie was, because you have all these people somehow as the team that are helping Chris. They call themselves Chris's team. Okay. I have the clips, Stephen Crabtree, SF, of them all saying this and saying that Crimson isn't on their team and all this weird stuff. But the average person is here because there's a child that disappeared, and parents have been acting all over the place, focused on these creators and targeting families. Good job. Instead of, thank you. She's got her music therapist today. Say, thank you. You can go bring it down to her. Go on. Good job. She wanted to show me. um, you have all of these creators that are
saying that this is what they're doing, but all of us, we are here trying to understand what's going on surrounding a young man that had autism and medically had other different abilities. You know, there is no team. I'm not even monetized. I wasn't even monetized.
That might surprise people. Dolly, I'm sure, would be number one, right?
Yeah, right.
I like Dolly. I think Dolly's funny as fuck. I think Dolly is very clear about, but I could see from your perspective where you wouldn't think what he's saying is funny, right? So,
well, here's what I think is funny with Dolly. If people on their shows or those creators think that they cannot be doxxed, and trust me, they cannot have things done to them just as they do to other folks, they are sadly mistaken. You know, to give you I was very polite about it. His moderator came on and sent me and my wife a message asking us to go on Dolly's show. And they posted the response. I was very polite, and I said, Mr. Jax, we appreciate the invitation, but I speak on behalf of my wife and myself that we are going to respectfully decline your invitation. And please do not reach out to me and my wife anymore. This message has been forwarded to law enforcement, et cetera, et cetera. But I did also put in there, AKA, or you or Jimmy Williams, AKA Dolly Vision. Like, don't get me wrong, man. I got your address. I know exactly where you are. Trust me, people don't think that I can't do my homework. Wrong. We can all do homework. We can all figure out who's who in the zoo.
Right, but I don't think any of that has to be put public. I think that adults will prevail on that. You know what I mean? Like, at least.
Oh yeah.
I just think when you put people's personal information out there, regardless of reasoning or whatnot, it just puts people's family unnecessarily at risk.
All kinds of stuff that has been interestingly stated. A lot of stuff. So I'm going to take you over here because I want you to put this into context of something that I found to be disturbing. Just one moment. Let's play this part. Hey, welcome, Scorpion Queen.
Thanks. Thank you.
Yeah, I know. YouTube's been having a lot of issues, I think, because of the influx that occurred last night. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
He and Katie were separated at one point.
Being said, what are some of the things that we haven't heard that you'd like to share?
Yeah, so these were things that she told me that she wanted out, so these are all from her as well. She said that Chris actually told her that he and Katie were separated at one point. He had told her in November that they were having marriage problems, and he was tired of taking people's feelings into consideration. He was tired of everybody's feelings, is what he was quoted as saying to her. He allegedly, after Sebastian went missing, Chris told Faith that he bought her a new bedroom set for the house up there. Let's see.
Is that the one that's in the garage?
I guess so. I think that's the one that he referred to. But then also when Nancy Grace asked him if he got any new furniture for his daughter, he said no. So I don't really know.
Well, I think he say something about a mattress in a garage?
Yeah.
That it was given to him?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So that doesn't make any sense either.
Yeah. Faith, who is, their child, witnessed Sebastian being hit in the face by Chris. This was brought back by their daughter.
Wait a minute. You're saying that Faith, Nina's daughter, witnessed.
Oh, this is so frustrating.
Yeah, that's you
Chris
too.
Proudfoot hitting.
It's been acting up a lot.
Hitting Sebastian Rogers in the face.
Yes.
I might just ask my friend to run it for me when logging in. Since she does producing and stuff. Might have to do that because this is just absurd.
Yeah, you might have to do that.
All of it's downloaded, so you could just use.
Said, what are some of the things that we haven't heard that you'd like to share?
Just if we're talking about if things are relevant or not, that seems pretty relevant to me.
Oh, I mean, that seems a little relevant to me.
Yeah. And this one was hard, just the fact that a parent could even say this. Nina told me that Katie and Chris said they don't have many pictures of Sebastian because he looks stupid or looks dumb, when he takes pictures.
Wow.
That's insane to
of
say.
all the things that I wish weren't true, those two last statements, well, pretty much all of them. But I mean, Chris has yet to respond, and I don't know. I mean, all I got back from him was when I did message him.
Well, I can't help but speculate that after everything that we've heard, that might actually be credible, because we've heard lots of people saying that. And the fact that they went around sharing pictures of a little Sebastian when we were looking for a teenager that's voice has already changed, has broad shoulders, broad jawbone. I mean, it's ridiculous. Ridiculous. I was looking for a child if I was out and about, weren't you? And then all of a sudden we find out that no, he's, a 15-year-old teenager, because a lot of disabilities, right? A lot of different abilities do cause sometimes you to have a younger appearance. So I think a lot of us just figured that, maybe his chromosomal deletion syndrome or something, just had him look a lot younger. Well, no, that wasn't the case. So maybe that is true, that they didn't have a lot of pictures. I don't think so. I think they had plenty. I mean, they took the one at the Texas Roadhouse. They could have used that.
About this, if he had any comment, I asked if he busted the child.
That's the thing, Truckin'. You're not going to really have fun around here because I wasn't a creator, like I said. I was just trying to learn about the area that I was moving my family to, get the right autistic services in place, and share Sebastian's flyer, try to find ways of having, different stadiums, different events, share it and speak up on it, because children don't vanish. And we've seen so many times that there's been cases, right, where a couple years later, a child, right, showed up at a gas station. So I wanted to try to see, what can we all do as a community to raise awareness, looking for Sebastian for his current age, not a younger version, obviously, because that's a total waste, and try to advocate for that. Carry my tote bag around that had his picture that says, "Have you seen me?" This is the one that I have on the tote bag. It's just something that a lot of us moms, this is just what we do. When one of the kids is gone, we just do the best we can. Just share their face, just share their face. And that wasn't possible because there was all this weird stuff that was happening, and all this manufacturing of content and all this nonsense. So unfortunately, I decided, I have to make content, and I have to focus on all of this now, and I'm going to give him airtime because my name has been slandered, and I'm not okay with that. Not when this child's missing and you have a whole team of people that have been going around doing this horrible stuff to other families, such as myself, of autistic children.
Well, my opinion is you two should put a stop to those people.
Well, you already know
You
he's
know,
an ongoing investigation, so they're
you
not going to
know,
stop it
it,
until they're done with the
no,
investigation.
it's not going to stop until he's found, and arrests need to be made against these people. You know, to slander people's name and call them all kinds of names. Did they ever look in the mirror at themselves? Don't they see they look like fools? How they're talking about other people and slandering them? You know, look in the mirror. For God's
Yeah,
sakes, grow up. Act like adults.
but that's not what they're here for. They've been very clear. They're not a true crime channel. They're not here for anything other than doxing and playing games online. And then they get all upset
Well,
because online fake nonsense, and then when it goes real life, they go crazy. They have no reason
yeah,
to be involved in a missing child's disappearance. That's my point.
yeah,
So
basically have no filter.
recruit them? Why is a stepfather actively recruiting channels that have nothing to do with true crime?
Exactly. It doesn't make sense. Probably trying to make himself look good, and the people that CP is involved with, it just doesn't sound right. It seems like it's just bad, bad, bad all the way around. And you know his behavior, you know, on a lot of these channels, and even to bring up your name in the content is just wrong and falsely make claims that you were in the back of that channel, Elevated Truth. How could you be on that when you were on the phone?
Doesn't matter. There was no public link anyway. I did a whole live showing that. And when we're done listening to this, I'll do it again. There was no way for the public to obtain access to that StreamYard.
Yeah.
And they know it. That's what they do. This is what you do when you're trolling and manufacturing content. What I want to know is why is a stepfather and a mother and their family actively engaging and partaking with a community of people that is what they do. That is all they do.
Well, it seems like they don't want this boy found.
Exactly.
It really
Talking
points
it all.
to it. They don't want this child found. They know something and they're just playing games and they keep playing games. And you know what? Eventually the hammer's going to fall hard on them, and it's going to fall hard quickly.
And they only have themselves to blame because there's so many people like myself, as you know, that would not have paid any attention to all of these things. But you have
Well,
forced that.
I sit back and I watch, and you have to pay attention to the whole aspect of things. And just watch the behavior and their total demeanor and just this, you know, and then all of a sudden, you know, CP wants to change his tune and act like he's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. He just ain't right. This man ain't right whatsoever. And then he hits Sebastian in front of Faith.
Allegedly, yep. I don't know if it was in person. I think it must have been.
Allegedly.
Yeah. But it
Yeah.
makes. Let's finish playing it real quick because of the darn buffering.
All right.
Child's lip, and he just wrote back, LOL.
Anybody wants to come, I'm more than open to hearing other opinions as long as you're respectful. Like I said, my opinion's been all over the place because I was coming in it like everybody else, you know, hearing about a missing teenager and then seeing all this weird stuff happening. So I'm very open to talking to everybody else and hearing what you think about all of this and what do you think we can do to help make change? What can we do to get these policies enforced when children run away and then they're, you know, we have a lot to talk about, but let's finish this and I'll put the link in the chat. You don't have to turn your camera on. I'll also give you the number if you'd rather call in. I'll give you the phone number. But I would love to be able to talk back and forth with all of you and hear your opinions on all of this.
Oh. That was his response, LOL. And so, you know, and I was like, do you have anything, you know, you want to say? And people say, oh, well, you're fishing for drama. No, I was actually giving him a chance to say what, you know, to kind of say, well, hey, this isn't how
Toodaloo, Lisa. I hope you have a beautiful day. Have a nice Sunday. I hope you find something good to watch. Take care now. Don't forget to share Sebastian's current updated photos and information. 1-800-TBI-FIND for everybody that has anything that might lead to finding Sebastian Rogers.
This is what I got back was an LOL, and then he said, I can't comment because I haven't heard it. LOL or something. And then no, it was when I asked the question, LOL, and then I said, so is that your comment? And then he said, well, I can't comment because I haven't. You would know if you did that or not. Like, you don't need to hear it from her, I wouldn't think. So we have a child, Chris Proudfoot's child witnessed Chris Proudfoot putting his hand said. What are some of the things that
I texted my friend, just so you know, Scorpion, so they can run the next couple streams remotely in case anybody is trying to actively keep reporting, because there is little tricks of the trade that some of these people can do to try to mess with streams.
Oh yeah, they can do with that. Yep.
which is
Try to.
And then you also have the what was it, the belt situation, and there's just a lot of smoke.
I'll share the link for anybody that needs that. Hey Sven, how are you?
Good to see you, Sven.
Hey Lisa. She's modded. Trying to switch back over to the other thing to show the other conversations about making money, and if you do the right thing and you share the story properly, how parents will be more willing to work with you so you can make money.
Yeah. But I didn't like that comment that chick came in here. I don't know what she's angry about. Why she came like that. I don't pay attention to it. I just ignore it. You're entitled to your opinion, but until you know the truth about.
They do. You don't address it and don't give them any time. They do.
Oh no, I'm not going to. I blow people off.
It's
like, whatever, believe what you want to believe. That's on you. Everybody has an opinion.
Yeah, those aren't real opinions. Like I said, I'll show the clips later that
It's just hate. It's just hate.
You have all these communities that don't know anything about Sebastian or his story. That's not what they're here for.
Yeah.
They have no clue. So they're just going to do what they're told to do.
Yep. Obey my master.
Sure seems to be.
Yep.
All right, let's see. What's the timestamp here? The timestamp is 1 moment. It is, I think, 3 hours and 30 minutes, I think.
I'll be right back. I got to go get some socks on my feet. It's cold in here.
is it 3 hours and 30
back
minutes?
to getting all the stuff washed away, all the YouTubes and everything pushed off to the side, and just coming right back to the basics and stick to the basics. That's all it did. That's all it did. Seth, if he was to listen, it would have to be a conversation, him and I, absolutely nobody around. I wouldn't even want a cell phone in mine or his possession. Nothing.
Right.
Because there's absolutely no way that conversation needs to leave him or myself. If Katie is present, then it would be the three of us. But, it just comes right back to getting all the stuff washed away, all the YouTubes and everything pushed off to the side, and just coming right back to the basics and stick to the basics. It worked.
Right.
It was great for the first 2 days, and day 3 it fell apart, and then from there forward it has just stayed apart.
I've thought about this, and I've watched Seth from the beginning to now, and I almost wonder, do you think that okay, watching Seth tonight, it
fell apart, and then from to the side, and just coming right back to the basics and stick to the basics. It worked.
Right.
It was great for the first 2 days, and day 3 it fell apart, and then from there forward it has just stayed apart.
I've thought about this, and I've watched
Not very interesting. Stick to the basics.
Seth from the beginning to now, and I almost wonder, do you think that okay, watching Seth tonight, it seemed like he was close to that edge of breaking. And no matter what anybody feels about Seth one way or the other, I think it's very important that we discuss mental health and men's mental health.
Oh,
And
yes.
so in this situation, I think it's time that someone reach out and check on, Seth's mental health away from all this other stuff. And I just wanted to throw that out there, that I saw a man tonight, regardless of what anybody personally feels, that appeared to me like he was hurting. And that's never good to see.
Well,
So I guess,
I mean, I will back you up on that. Seth has been hurting since the moment he got the phone call and we talked. Seth has been hurting because he's missing his son. But then again,
But then after May 18th, if you look, you have all these channels that just decided to talk about him every stream. Just talk about him, horrible things about him. Even though Chris said he doesn't think at all that there's any chance that he had anything to do with Sebastian's disappearance. So, very hypocritical, isn't it?
again, at the same time, you have a mother who is hurting just as equally. I am hurting
Right.
just as much. Probably,
Yeah.
I'm not going to say I know exactly how he feels, because there's a difference in the stepfather and a father, of course. But at the same time,
I don't agree with that, by the way, but go ahead.
okay. Well, I mean, I don't ever want to, and I'm in that same situation with my daughter and my ex-wife. If there's another man that comes into a relationship, into a family, and that man steps up and becomes that extra parental figure, that father figure.
Absolutely. In the back chat, Clue, I put the. Okay, I didn't know if you wanted to post it or not. I can do on my end, but I promise you guys, if 2, 3, 4, 5,000 people all tagged on the same day, it will happen.
Well, when you people are saying let's hound law enforcement. Respectfully, I'm gonna ask y'all not to do that, and here's why. You can hound.
So listen to this, how he's trying to make sure that you don't bother to call law enforcement about any of the things you hear about him, or any of these weird possible slip ups that are said on these streams, or anything, at all, because if you do so, you're wasting their time. So just listen to that.
Respectfully, I'm gonna ask y'all not to do that, and here's why. You can hound law enforcement, and hounding them doesn't do anything but drive them away from looking at leads and things that they get coming in. You know, somebody posted, I saw this not too long ago, reach out to the DA, reach out to the mayor, reach out to the law enforcement about me and all this. Like, okay, go ahead. And eventually they're going to be like, there's nothing there. And all you're doing is just causing havoc and for no reason. So I would definitely defer not to doing that. Just keep, turning in tips, calling them and letting them know that. But trust me, if people think for 1 second that none of us parents are constantly under a microscope, trust me, you'd be so wrong, very wrong. They hear all of these.
I don't know what the point is for you to different Lisa, not my beautiful mod. I don't know what your point is. We've talked about Seth, but at the end of the day, he was at work, Cloth and Dapper. I believe her. I trust her over everybody else on the internet. And if she's saying that he was at work and all of these other things are not accurate and they were all made up, I'm not wasting any energy or time talking about Seth Rogers. He's missing a son. I don't care anything else past that point. Just, so I suggest just have fun. Go watch something else. Medea is great. Dr. Phil. I just watched a bunch of This is Doubtfire. Go watch something that makes you feel good and happy. Because this is not
go watch the Steve Wilkes show. Go watch all that silly stuff.
Yeah.
Please. We have a missing child here.
Yeah.
Take your stupidity.
Every single one of them. Got to understand that they do. Because we hear about it from law enforcement. Oh, well, we hear, blah, blah, blah. Yep. We talk to them every single day just about letting them know everything that has gone on, all kinds of stuff. Trust me, it is, it's tiresome. It truly is. And at the end of the day, they're also parents. They also have families that they eventually have to go home to, and they got to be able to turn some of this off and on.
Absolutely. In the back chat, Clue, I put okay. I didn't know if you wanted to post it or not. Obvious answer. YouTubers that you've had contact with, that you've talked to, and don't include Clue into this because that's a semi-obvious answer. What are...
See, it's obvious. Whoops.
It's obvious, like you said. Don't include Clue, because obviously they're very close and, working together. Clue, who has made a public statement that she's trolling, and she's going to be trolling on a totally different level in 2025. Yeah, okay.
A couple of YouTubers that you actually appreciate their content, even if you don't like what they say, that might surprise people? Dolly, I'm sure,
That's just
number one, right?
Yeah, right.
I like.
And is he or Katie related to somebody that knew Duchess? Because they talked on her show that they knew each other. He said he knew YouTubers, right? So he knows Duchess, and that's the only one he's going to bring up. Somebody
I like Dolly. I think Dolly's funny as fuck. I think Dolly is very clear about, but I could see from your perspective where you wouldn't think what he's saying is funny, right? So,
here's what I think is funny with Dolly. If people on their shows or those creators think that they cannot be doxxed, and trust me, they cannot have things done to them just as they do to other folks, they are sadly mistaken. To give you I was very polite about it. His moderator came on and sent me and my wife a message asking us to go on
different timestamp for you all. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to pull it up here. Let's see. What time is it? It is It was 5 hours. 7 minutes, hold up.
Creators before, like think about the families that are involved in this, and you're making money off of this. If people want to try to make it right, people that make money on this, donate all that money that you make on this, put it back toward the whole reason we're here. Help fund billboards, help get flyers. They got to be able to turn some of this off and on.
Absolutely. In the back chat, Clue, I put the. Okay, I didn't know if you wanted to post it or not. Well, I would like to see personally y'all all be able to come back together again. I think it's got some people that have ulterior motives, whatever they might be, good, bad, or
being said, what are some of the things that
we're buffering again, so I'm restarting, just refreshing. Just refreshing. Hi, Fun to Ski. Fishy, yeah, I guess so. If you go and you write down the different dates, they knew. Well, Clue said she was there from the beginning. Now that's out of the bag, right? Crabtree said he was out there talking to the neighbors and
Too, but
getting info from the beginning.
there are ways to show families that you care, and not necessarily and make your money without being rude about it.
I would agree with you 110% on that.
I mean, I'd be honest with you. I don't necessarily have to agree with every.
Notice the date now. You can make your money. You can make your money. Just, in my opinion, stick to my facts, my story.
Everybody's visions and their opinions, but I'll tell you.
Not until the Nancy Grace, I think, or Duchess, he found out from one of the interviews. He didn't know. That's why Chris is like, oh, on the third or fourth day, everybody got off the path. If we just stuck to the same thing and da 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 da. Well, of course, in my opinion, the rumors I heard, unbelievable. And no, not from the Green Team. I don't talk to other creators. I haven't spoken to anybody with the Green Team on the phone. I mean, this whole Green Team thing is wacky. But what I heard locally was, possible choking, very horrible, heartbreaking, and these are mandated reporters that report things. So then you hear another situation of the stepsister saying she saw an incident, right? So there's a lot of heartbreaking things that are being said, and then the child disappeared. And then you have replacing all of this bedroom furniture and so many horrible red flags. And then you have him actively with a group of people, one that is advertising their trolling abilities and how they're the best of the best at it. And by the way, since everybody keeps saying I'm paid, I lost a lot of money actually. I don't need to get into specifics. I had to stay in Airbnb because I couldn't move to Hendersonville because I was concerned for my safety of my family and what we would deal with if we did. I'll put the Cash App at the bottom. Can you let them know my pay has never arrived? I've never gotten my pay. Thank you very much. Because as you know, I never monetized and I never put anything out there. But if we're going to try to turn around the fact that I didn't want to make money off of discussing a missing child, I'll put my stuff in the links below because now I'm going to actively create a channel out of this. And we're going to make this a channel again. And then we're going to find a way to do some good and continue to advocate like I always have on my other channel with my family. And we'll turn this into something of good through all this hate. We're going to turn it around and make it good. But I'll put that link down in the description so you guys can flip it around on grifting now instead of trying to pretend I'm paid.
I'll tell you right now, you show families something in that realm, like you're putting back toward the cause, I guarantee you'd probably get a lot more response from every aspect, not just one side of a coin, but from all aspects. I think you would be able to profit a lot more off of it too. But I mean, that's just my personal opinion.
I got a question for you about the
I don't know.
divorce.
I
I
don't.
know
They think they're smarter than everybody else, and they don't realize. I'm sure there's different people that are in this case. Probably some creators that are active agents. You probably have law enforcement that you're watching on YouTube and you don't even know. You know, and I don't know. The stuff that they're doing is crazy, and I think it's going to be one hell of a case. I really do. What do you think, Scorpion? Scorpion, are you there? Did I lose
Yeah, I'm
you?
here.
So what do you
I
think?
just, what do I think about?
No, about do you think it's going to be one heck of a case? Because the way they act like they don't realize, like, law enforcement, FBI, God knows who else is actively involved in tracing everything and watching everything.
Exactly. They don't realize that. They want to go around and say, I'm going to dox this, I'm going to do that to this person, I'm going to harass them. And if you're, they just don't think. They just do. It's just like they have nothing better to do with their time. It's about a child that's missing. And people are trying to say, hey, what's going on? Where is this child? A child does not vanish into thin air. Thin air with no shoes on, no coat, nothing. A lot of these stories don't add up, even with the Summer Wells case. It's like, what, 3 years now, 4 years now? Nothing. That case is gone because people ruined it and trashed that. Because there was a lot going on. People who covered it, they got harassed. They had their cars smashed into and everything. It's just, you can't even talk about it. People get threatened and stuff. It's like, what is going on with these people? What is in their minds? Why, people care about kids that are missing. If you really care about this child, stop trying to get involved and harass people that want to know what happened to this child, that care about this kid and want to go out and find him.
Well, it's been made
And that's
abundantly.
my opinion. It needs to stop. More needs to be done. More. About these crazies coming in. I'm gonna dox you. You're crazy. You're this. You're that. Just sit down. Sit down. Go somewhere. Go to the Steve Wilkes show and do all your stupid stuff there. It's getting old. This stuff is getting old.
Well,
It's about children missing. It's time that it's found.
Exactly. It doesn't cross over. The reason that so many of us creators never dealt with anything like this before is because you don't have people bringing in those kind of communities. You don't have parents bringing in those type of communities. It's absurd. And they have literally actively brought in trolling, doxing, keyword communities, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm not sure who Elevated Truth really actually is. He does look a lot like the ex or the husband of Illuminati. I don't really know. I'm waiting to, like all of you, it'll all come out eventually. It seems like everybody just puts everything on Twitter. So, I mean, I know the guy kept saying he was
Probably.
only for Sebastian. He made a channel only for Sebastian, and he was waiting for a contract to end, and then he was able to show his face. That was on the panel that they had me come on. So I'm not really 100% sure, but I do know that, Clueless has told us a lot about the guy she was married to. It seems like she still is from all the background things that were being put up, right? And him all the time because she still loved him and how he would never disrespect her the way that Seth is respecting Katie. And I think it's atrocious that everybody is giving a woman that doesn't seem to have any, you know, decorum, loves to talk filthy, 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 your addresses for bracelets. And it turns out that, you know, there's this guy that was doing heinous, horrific things as young as 18 months old. I mean, it's just absolutely the most disturbing, atrocious group of people I've ever seen in my life. And I can't imagine what Kathy Bowersox is doing. Probably going crazy on Chris for recruiting people like this and her family, friends, wherever they came from. Because there's no way that people want this is not the people you want out there as your spokespeople.
Nope.
So disgusting. And that's why it's alarming, and you have to be careful and safe because you have a lot of really unsettling people. These people are unsettling and disturbing. So when they're putting my family out there, they're putting Julie out there, they're putting Brittany out there, talking about our autistic kids, and there's a link that we all have autistic kids, knowing that there's similarities in appearance with my son, with, you know, I mean, it's disturbing on a whole nother level. Disturbing.
Yeah.
It really has been.
You know, it is very disturbing. You know, you got sick people, sick-minded people. You know, I don't care if you're doing it for if that's what you're doing it for clicks and views. It's pretty sick and disturbing, and it needs to stop.
But it's not. It's only double. I'm going over all of these dates. It's only gotten worse and worse and worse and worse if you listen to Chris and follow the path. If you're not going to follow the path, it seems like he sends his trolls for you. In my opinion, that's what it looks like.
They're getting paid to do it. You know, if they're all for Chris and them and Katie, that's their opinion. But you don't realize you have a child missing. A child is missing. That's the whole point. And you know, what have they been out there searching? Have they? Oh, wait, 10 months later, oh, Chris goes live and does a live. He's out there searching with somebody. Are you kidding me? And then you got people questioning Seth because he went out further to look further. You know, he came and started yelling for his son, you know, looking himself. And he spread out, you know, thinking maybe this kid walked towards my house, you know.
Well, Chris said that Sebastian knew the route to Seth's house. He said that. We played it the other day. It was on one of his interviews that he did know the route to Seth's house.
Yeah.
But yeah, and send law enforcement to Seth's immediately.
Yeah.
They didn't look at Seth's immediately, even though they knew Sebastian. He admitted Sebastian knew the route to Seth's. And don't forget, they didn't want people searching in the certain mile radius.
Well, but they turned his Seth's house upside down, but they wouldn't turn their house upside down.
I don't know if I believe that. I think there might even have been luminol, in my opinion. I think there might be a lot of stuff that was done that we don't know about.
No, they tore Seth's house apart. Seth even said it. They tore Sebastian's bedroom apart. They took all his remote controls and games and stuff.
No, but what I mean is when you see where it's all coming from, the nothing to see here, we're clear, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I don't believe it come out of Chris's mouth. I think that they were in his house. I think they did do a lot. And I think that we're going to hear all about it eventually pretty soon, in my opinion.
Well, they did luminol. Well, they already screwed up the crime scene because there was people in and out, according to Seth, when he got there. And Katie was shoving her phone. Look at Sebastian, how happy he was. He had a good day. What kind of shit is that? His kid's missing. Our kid's missing. What the hell? Who does that?
He never found out again because after that, for whatever reason, she didn't talk again.
Nope.
But yeah, here, we'll finish if it'll let me. Listen to
I don't know if you've seen go ahead. Just play it.
If I seen what?
Chris Proudfoot's Facebook page, what he said. They found that. The comment he made. Oh, something about how to make a person disappear and Yeah, it was just really, really creepy.
Yeah, I heard that. My problem, that's
Somebody showed it. Yeah, yep.
that was a, but see, that's the thing. It's been out there the whole time.
Yep.
These conversations, you know.
Yep. And nobody wants to listen. Oh, not true, not true. Whatever. People got the freaking evidence. And
Yeah,
if
and it's crazy.
nothing's done, they're gonna let this continue like this Summer Wells case. People are gonna be highly upset because this is getting ridiculous.
No, I don't
Something
think
has to get.
have to remember it takes time, and they started. That's why I've been showing all the videos. They started an active investigation, and now it just takes a lot of time. It takes time because you get one shot if you're going for certain charges. But I do think we could see a lot of other charges and different types of arrests and things. I mean, we could talk about it after I'm done with this part of the segment, but just reading the restraining order documentation about Betty is insane. Or look at how they're like documented liars, right? Documented trolls, and they're making videos pretending I'm stalking the Proudfoot house. When I went by Stafford Court and live streamed it twice because I have to go over there all the time for appointments. And I decided to drive to the road that was on the flyer and I live streamed it. I said a quick little prayer. And they're flipping that into I was stalking them. And these people are unhinged. Their credibility is shot. And if you're going to be making such heinous, horrible accusations, but you're not actually doing anything to the people you're breaking bread with that are out there videotaping, cutting in and out of a visual for Sebastian while calling it murdering, you don't think that law enforcement is going to be making a stink about certain things? Because I do. I think we're going to see a lot of charges, different arrests, and eventually, once they know that they have what they need, beyond a shadow of a reasonable doubt, it could even be worse than that because you don't have to find Sebastian. I hate to say this, I don't like putting it out there, but we know that there is probability that there could be a case without actually having him physically as
Yeah.
well. Everything else, you know. But yeah, we could show that after. But I just wanted everybody to hear how he was suggesting that you can make money if you listen to the parents and do things the way that they want it done. And then look what happened with Granny and everybody. All of a sudden,
Oh
what
yeah.
did it just start? And then she's got her whole chat room of people where she's like, oh, they're not from this community. That's why they're asking who's Katie and who's this and who's that. So you're recruiting, in my opinion, trolls and doxing and bad people. And that is going to have to be we're going to have to ask those questions. Why is red flags all over the people that Sebastian Rogers was in the care of? Why?
Yep.
Started their second
Yeah.
campaign.
Exactly.
Now.
You got to look at it from a different perspective and a different angle.
Hi, Justice Champ. And feel the love. And Kim G, hello. Y'all be safe with the weather if you're getting all kinds of snow and everything. Be careful.
Yeah.
With
No doubt.
billboards as well, but I know the last time you were on here, we were talking about billboards. I mean, are they still up all across the country? Like I think you were talking about that last time, about them being some of the other places where they're at, or maybe you said you knew they were up on going toward Memphis, but do you know
Yeah.
if they're
So, well, we have lost a lot of the billboard. I mean, it's a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. If I had an endless supply of money, I'll tell you right now, I'd have every billboard. Anywhere there was a billboard, I'd have that thing covered with his picture. Trust me.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of money. It truly.
It's not a lot of money.
Yeah. Right.
$50.
Yeah.
They've admitted the people that raised the money for the billboards are only having $50 coming out a day to pay for them. It's very cheap to do the billboards. And if you really care, you would be like Emma's dad, who took $15,000, all of his savings, and offered it up. That's what you do. You'd sell one of your campers, your boats, your left arm.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder who was tearing down those flyers. Who was tearing down Sebastian's flyers? Huh? Yeah.
Probably some of the creators to manufacture content, in my opinion.
Possible.
No, Max, you can go to Blip billboards. I've done them. They're used all the time in marketing, just like buying TikTok ads and Facebook ads. It's actually not that expensive. So when you have money that Clue and all them say they're so rich and everything, I think it's absolutely nonsensical. It's ridiculous.
It really is. I mean, just to keep them going for a month, I think it's a couple $100 to keep them going for the month.
He doesn't have a couple $100 to keep for a month. Disgusting. Disgusting.
Yeah. Okay. What about
I
his
want you to
mother?
ask more questions, but I'm gonna dive into one more. So, out of all of the YouTubers that you've had contact with, that you've talked to, and don't include Clue into this because that's a semi-obvious answer. What are a couple of YouTubers that you actually appreciate their content, even if you don't like what they say, that might surprise people? Dolly, I'm sure, would be number one, right?
Yeah, right. Lawyer up. A lot better. And don't.
So here's Chris's advice on what to do if you're in his situation. Do you think that maybe Chris did this and that's why we're hearing all these weird scripted sounding, a lot of people come in out of nowhere and it sounds like they're reading stuff. So let's hear his explanation for what he would want you to do if you were in his situation.
Don't go to. There's always going to be somebody
that you out there experiencing the same thing, and advice you would retrospect 80 days in. Is there?
Oh, here we go. Don't forget, it's only 80 days now. So Sebastian hasn't even been gone for 3 months. Keep that in mind with all this laughing and talking and money, money, money.
Or anything that you would say to families that are out there experiencing the same thing, and advice you would give them, or things to stay away from, or to maybe try, maybe that you would have done differently in hindsight in this situation?
Oh, I do. What was that, Scorpion?
Hold on. I gotta hang on.
I'll mute this now.
I gotta run for a bit.
Personal advice is
All
very
right.
easy. Do not,
I'll talk to you later.
under any circumstance, drink the Kool-Aid. Don't. Stay quiet. Do exactly as law enforcement is telling you to do. Keep your family together. And it's going to be tough because there's always going to be somebody thinking or saying one thing, because they're just human. They are. But if you can keep the family close and don't go to any type of social media platform, stay away from them. Until you can.
So keep the family close, right? And we heard that a lot of these people, Duchess, knew him through family. Here you go, sweetie. And Clue knew him through family. So that's the first part of his advice.
A lot better. If you must go to a news outlet or social media, if you want a spokesperson, get one. But use a law firm.
Yeah, don't drink the Kool-Aid. So meaning what? Don't listen to people that tell you to come to social media? I don't know. Very weird.
Use a lawyer.
Oh, let me also remind everybody, when your child goes missing, you can easily get information on this and call and find out for yourself. But they suggest that you get your face out as much as possible if your child ran away, so that they can see you and know that you love them and want to come home. Also, if your child's abducted or kidnapped, a lot of times what they'll do is they'll want your face out there to humanize you, so that the person that might have your child can humanize you and then return them. So it's very interesting to hear that made up nonsense that he ran away with no shoes and law enforcement doesn't want them talking about things and doing things, because I've never heard of such a thing. I'm just saying, in my opinion.
If you want a spokesperson, get one, but use a law firm, use a lawyer, use a law firm as a spokesperson. And no, I'm not saying lawyer up, but use a spokesperson from a professional standpoint that is very proven to be what they are.
Well,
and let them handle it.
And I saw this question in chat earlier, and I was going to ask it, but we got into other conversation. But does law enforcement or any of government organization have anybody that is sort of an advocate for families in these situations?
Believe it or not, there's not.
Yeah, he said stay quiet. He did. Yep.
Out there experiencing the same thing, and advice you would give them, or things to stay away from, or to maybe
telling you to do, drink the Kool-Aid. Don't stay. I definitely, my personal advice is real easy. Do not, under any circumstance, drink the Kool-Aid. Don't. Stay quiet. Do exactly as law enforcement is telling you to do. Keep your family together, and it's going to be tough because there's always going to be somebody thinking or saying one thing because they're just human. They are. But if you can keep the family close and don't go to any type of social media platform, stay away from them until you can get with law enforcement to break this down a lot better. If you must go to a news outlet or social media, if you want a spokesperson, get one, but use a law firm, use a lawyer, use a law firm as a spokesperson. And no, I'm not saying lawyer up, but use a spokesperson from a professional standpoint that is very proven to be what they are.
Well,
and let them handle it.
And I saw this question in
Very proven to be what they are. It sounds like you're talking about defense attorneys, because I don't hear anything about helping find the missing child, what to do, how to make sure you get them home, you get justice if, God forbid, they were met with foul play. Very interesting synopsis. And I do agree that if it wasn't for all of the stuff that came in with Dog the Bounty Hunter, hardly anybody would be talking about it anymore, because you don't want to deal with the trolls that he recruited. People just don't want to deal with their communities and all of them. So I do agree with you on that. Definitely agree, Trishy.
chat earlier, and I was going to ask it, but we got into other conversation. But does law enforcement or any of government organization have anybody that is sort of an
They just somehow seem to disappear. It doesn't make any sense at all.
advocate for families in these situations?
Believe it or not, there's not. All the PIOs or PAOs, whatever you want to call them, there's not one for the family. If you want one, you have to get your own. TBI has their law enforcement spokesperson. This, the Sumner County Sheriff's Department, Deputy Chief Craddock. He's like their spokesperson. He does a lot of that. But yeah, no, we asked. I was like, is there something like that that's offered? Should we? They're like, we don't offer that, but you can definitely seek out your own.
Yeah.
And I'm not on the bashing train, but I will say this much. In this situation, I personally think Seth should reevaluate the whole deal. I would push people back out, keep them at arm's distance, and don't let them get close.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody is. I don't know
But he didn't evaluate. He didn't get rid of some of these people. Are you kidding? Is it because you're keeping the family close? What in the heck?
Where your standing is on with the spokesperson. But, you know, I don't know if you're too familiar with Chris, what's his name?
Yes, I know. I was just listening. Oh, Brandy's story breaks my absolute heart. Hey, Jude. I checked my phone. I just replied to the text. And no, this is not from the green team. Probably, Tina. Sadly, all of the people in the chats over there and stuff, they didn't even know who the people are. They don't even know who Sebastian is or what the case is about or anything. It's sad. It's sad when you have all these people that have no interest in this at all being brought into. It's just sad. The whole thing is awful. And it doesn't happen hardly ever. It only happens when you're actively trying to make it happen. I've been around social media since it really started. And you get trolls, and sometimes you get people that are a little nasty. But I've been behind the scenes on channels that have thousands in chat, and this doesn't happen. This is very disturbing, the way that it has been actively used, in my opinion. And I think there's a insurmountable amount of evidence all over the place that that's the case, in my opinion. And this bizarre cognitive dissonance that we have, where people think that nobody's paying attention and everything that they're saying and doing online is covered under entertainment. And I mean, it's really sad. I mean, truly, I don't think people have any idea the nonsense that they've gotten themselves into. It's really sad. Take care, Tori. You have a wonderful day. Yeah, actually, I wasn't ever. My opinion was always changing. And my original live stream where I discussed what I was talking about and why I was interested in all this is still live. So I think that it's very important that you have an educated hypothesis when talking about things. And when you find out that the things that you were told were completely made up and coming directly from the stepfather, there's a problem. So yeah, I no longer had any reason to question some of the things that Seth was saying, because it's very easy when you go and look at the dates to figure out why he was saying what he was saying, because they were always right after something else was done. That's what happens when you come into something and you're doing it without a bias. You're doing it because you're trying to understand why people are making propaganda in an active, ongoing missing child's case. You don't get blinded. You don't align and have feelings and defend anyone. You look for information regarding the child, and that's all you care about. That's all I care about. I don't care about anybody else. I don't care about all these creators and their past indifferences and their nonsense. Who cares? I care about being a normal human being, that we have our opinions change as facts change. It's very important to never be closed-minded. That's why law enforcement always brings in new sets of eyes and things, because we all have different perceptions, we all have different opinions. And if we're wrong about something, I apologize. I own it. Why? Because I want my children to do the same thing. Sadly, I don't see people doing that. I don't see people owning their mistakes at all, or even taking responsibility that they are influencers. They are monetized and they are boots on the ground and they are claiming to be influencers. And I never see apologies. It's sad. No accountability when we may be wrong on something. Don't understand. I really don't.
He said he leaked and that's true. Josh said he leaked. Well, I know you don't like the word, Heather. I'm sorry, but Josh said he put it out there.
I just don't like the word leaked when we're talking about Tony giving it to Seth, because it's not a leak when it went to the.
Well, that's the thing, Sven. All of the cats are out of the bag now. It was all, I was realizing this before they were openly admitting it all over the place, you know? But once you realize that they are with Chris Proudfoot, there's a problem. Big problem. in my opinion. Giant problem. And who wouldn't see that it, like, there's just no turning your cheek on that.
Client, you
Oh,
know.
sure.
Well,
Okay.
first of all, I was blamed for this shit.
Bitch, Tony ain't your fucking client. You see, you try to be a sneaky ass snake. Tony ain't your fucking client.
Account that had $3,500 in it. Well, to clear the air, there was no money in an account. It was promissory notes from some anonymous companies that were going to put money into a fund. And it was through a lawyer services. Now, granted, myself, Katie, or Seth's family, nobody had any connection to this. This was done some different anonymously through a different group. However, then there was a lot of questions about it. When we have actually asked the questions about a reward account, law enforcement has told us that it is very tricky because you don't want to be attached to it, but you got to find a legitimate way of doing it. And most rewards, from what I understood and the way they explained it to me, Crime Stoppers kind of has a hand in it. Sometimes law enforcement has a hand in it. So
I'm not trying to play that part. Sorry about that. Trying to get to the Nancy Grace part. One moment. Let's see.
That happened with Nancy Grace and just that whole thing. Do you have an opinion on that? Not necessarily the content of it, but how it was handled.
I think.
Yeah, there's no scent, flashlights, cars in the area, the geofencing stuff, right, from the CAP team. So many different things. New mattresses, new bedroom sets, just a lot of disturbing stuff.
They did a really bad job. Really bad job.
Were you ever asked, or you and Katie ever asked to come back on there?
Yes.
And y'all chose not to, I'm assuming?
Exactly. I forgot his name, but I think his name was Holden or something like that. But he had sent a message to Katie and myself, and then he actually wound up calling us and asked if we'd be. I said, no, I'm not coming on your show. He was like, well, and I said, or actually, he didn't come on. He actually asked me where I was located. I said, I'm not telling you. It's none of y'all's business for safety concerns. I'm not giving any of that information out. And he told me, he's like, well, Seth is coming on, or Nancy's show's going live. You want to come on? It's like, oh, well, who's coming on? And he told me, I said, absolutely not. Because I mean, that was a dead giveaway for a setup. Like,
yeah,
why would I want to do that? Why? All you guys are digging for is for information and trying to get the numbers and the ratings up, and all it would just cause is a real nasty show. Why?
Yep.
It just, I could.
National and around the world. So who cares what they say about you? Who cares? If it could bring them home, who cares?
Couldn't get behind it. And my opinion, like on the show, like you can definitely tell that she had to do, I'm not going to say damage control, but they had to really think about how they were going to bring him back on the show when he went live and told everybody about, he fell asleep in the polygraph. I don't know. Like, I don't know how they would do that as a show. That just a lot of questionable things, I guess.
Did it feel like to you that they were downplaying that? Or was it not even a big deal from the get-go for you and Katie?
Knowing that what we know, quite honestly, like him taking the polygraph, to me, it was a waste.
Okay.
I mean, the fact that, I took a polygraph, okay, that was a waste too, but whatever. If me taking a polygraph satisfied a lot of people to help clear some rhetoric or whatever, that's fine. I'll do it. you know, and Seth did the same thing. That's fine. Katie took hers. That's fine. Not a big deal. You know?
Right.
I agree. And I also feel like Seth probably took it to do the same thing, right? Like get rid of a lot of the BS and all of that, but it just didn't turn that way. You know what I mean?
Well, Seth made a mistake when he went out there and he went on a show and he started running his mouth saying what happened. He should have never done that. And quite honestly, the Prolificer should have never gave him the test.
I agree.
Never. And I'm very confused as to why they did. I mean, knowing what I know about polygraphs and what you have to do and all this stuff, like, I don't care if they paid him or not. You should never. He'd have never made it through the first hour of the polygraph. They did it right. They should have never. He would never made it through the first hour. You know, it takes 3 hours at minimum to do the polygraph.
Good Lord, I'd be a hot mess.
So here, I'll walk you through it real quick. It's when you go to the polygraph, you'll go into the room, you sit down with your interviewer, you talk, and basically what they're trying to do is they want to get to know you. They're reading your body language and things like that, but they're also trying to get you to calm down. Because don't take this wrong way, but I don't care who you are. You walk into a polygraph, it is kind of nerve wracking in general.
Yeah.
But they're the first hour they talk, get to know you, you get to know them, you relax, you calm down. They'll walk you through. They're going to tell you how it's going to go, what you're going to do, et cetera, et cetera. Then you'll take a break, come back, you sit back down, and you'll do the second part, which is he talks about like, okay, well, let's talk about the machine. Let's talk about all the instruments. Let's talk about what we're going to do here. And then you go through a questionnaire. There is a medical questionnaire. And it asks you all kinds of personal information. And in order for you to, like, you'll get to the end and is the applicant,
Rana, why would you sue people that don't have anything to sue? You can't get blood from a stone, right? I wouldn't waste my time and money and effort suing anybody that I'm not going to collect anything on. That's just nonsensical, in my opinion. Maybe after Sebastian is found or justice is served for him, maybe you could look into doing that or finding a pro bono lawyer, but I wouldn't waste my time on any of that.
should they take the polygraph, basically, yes or no? And they circle yes, they'll sign the sheet. And then after that, you'll go through a series of questions. And they actually read to you the questions they're going to ask you before you take the test. Now, keep in mind, the machine is not the polygraph. It's just the machine. It's the instruments. You yourself are the actual lie detector.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't understand that, but the machine is just doing the reading. You are the lie detector. And you'll go through the questions. If you do not like the way the question is worded, you actually get to ask them, say, look, can we change the way that's worded? Because you need to have the questions where you completely understand them as yes or no. That's it. If he reads a question and it sounds confusing or you don't like the way it's worded, you ask them to change the way it's worded. They'll work with you, go through all the questions. Bada bing, you're done. Then they'll establish a baseline for you. And that being said, you know, I don't know exactly. It's not always the same numbers, but there'll be a series of numbers. They skip one, and then that blank you're going to write in that number. And then at some point they're going to tell you when we get to this number, I want you to lie. I don't want you to say, yes, you wrote the number. I want you to just say no and intentionally lie. They're just establishing your baseline.
We're almost done with this part of it. And then in about probably 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes, we'll wrap up this segment. And then I'll be back on later tonight to do part 2, just so you guys all know.
And then after all that's done, then you sit down in the seat, and they hook you up to the machine and all the instruments and things like that. And then you start through the series of questions. And it's not fast. It is very slow. You'll go through it once, and then they'll say, okay, we're done. They'll turn it off for a minute, let you relax. And if whenever they'll ask you, are you ready to go again? Blah, blah, blah. You start into it again. You'll do the exact same questions. Now, they are not always in the same order. It is randomized, but it is simply yes or no. And you'll go through the questions again. Wait a couple minutes, whatever, relax. And then they'll go through it one more time. Now, you have to have a minimum of 3 out of 5. The most they'll give you is 5. The minimum is 3. But you'll go through it that many times. And then once you're done, it says, okay, the test is now over. You can relax. And then they'll come and take all the material, the instruments off of you. And then after that, he'll escort you out of the room. He is going to score the polygraph. You wait. When you come back into the room, you'll have a debrief basically. And then they'll give you, on the spot, they give you your results. Do they hand you a physical paper? No. They give you passed, you failed, whatever, on the spot. If you want a results of your polygraph results on paper, you can request it. And then you'll get them in a couple days or whatever. But I mean, that is essentially the polygraph. Real simple.
Is it always that way? Because I like that just makes me question, because Seth said he didn't know that he would know in like a week. But then his mom came out and said it was inconclusive. You know what I mean? I wonder if every polygrapher is that way.
The tests do not change. The only thing that kind of changes is like the machine. Like there's I think there's like 2 or 3 different series of the machines, but it doesn't matter. The process is the same.
I just meant in
Step for step, form for form, word for word, results for results.
Oh, okay.
It's not, you do not wait to get your results. They are instant. Like I said, I finished my test. I stepped out of the room, took a break, got some water. I think I was out of the room 15, 20 minutes. Then they bring me back in the room. We sat down, talked about everything. And he says, okay, now the results of your polygraph and blah, 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 blah. And he gives you the results. Real simple.
I agree, Sven. And that was always my thing. I didn't know where the psyops were coming from. I didn't have a clue. And I don't know, I have no idea, if everybody was doing it to a certain extent, because I can see some people maybe thinking that it would help raise awareness. But this is a whole different level. That's why I'm not focused on the other parts of it. This is such a different level. What is my dog doing?
Kids in this county that are missing that Sumner County ain't even looking for. It's not just my kid. There could be hundreds of kids missing, and they're not doing their job, and it makes me scared for every one of my son's classmates. All right.
He been out of practice. He ain't been on panels. He can't do that cry on demand shit no more. You see that?
For you and Katie ever asked to come back on there?
Yes. You'll get to the end and but it doesn't matter. The prompt results, they are instant, like form, word for word, results for results.
Oh, okay.
It's not, you do not wait to get your results. They are instant. Like I said, I finished my test. I stepped out of the room, took a break.
You really can. You really can hear the pain in his voice. Like, and I would expect him to be all over the place, mentally, physically, emotionally. I would expect that from somebody that is looking for their child and doesn't know what happened to their child. I would expect them to be across the board devastated and lashing out and snapping. That's just my opinion.
Great, got some water. I think I was out of the room 15, 20 minutes. Then they bring me back in the room. We sat down, talked about everything, and he says, okay, now the results of your polygraph and blah, 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 blah. And he gives you the results. Real simple. Boom. It is not a week later. It is not.
Okay.
Now, getting the paper results might be a week.
Yeah.
Might. Now, in his situation, it depends on how they, like you got your prolificer who scores it.
Be blinded by their own loyalty, to not be firmly that to give grace on that. He passed his, or to believe that he was tired and on some type of medication, then you have to give grace on that. He passed his second one. I think that just answers all three of those questions. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, but obviously it didn't. All Chris did was make it sound like you can fake a lie detector, which is exactly why I think that it's not submissible in court. Because I think there is some people that write pathological liars and stuff. They say that it's just not very helpful, but it's a helpful tool for law enforcement. In most cases, it's a tool, right? Troll's gonna troll. We used to call it whack-a-troll, like whack-a-mole.
So moving on is going to have to be a necessity. I still feel firmly that there are some others at play here. And I think that, some people may be blinded by their own loyalty.
I still think it's just so crazy with how Chris is and how he's explained things to us. That truth just came out of nowhere and made a channel all about his son, and he comes in and he talks like he's law enforcement or a lawyer or a spokesperson or I don't even know. It's just wild when you really listen to all this.
To not be able to see when people are using them or maybe manipulated them into a situation that put Sebastian in a situation. I don't know. But my biggest thing that I have a problem with, and I've said this many, many times before, is I truly feel Sebastian.
I agree, Sven, because if you notice the 2 times that they bring me up, they're always like, call law enforcement on her, or something like in a roundabout manner. And it's like, are we deflecting? Like, who are you, dude? Like, so it's just weird and creepy. And, normally I would never care who somebody is, but considering what's gone on and the targeting, it seems that have happened to certain ones of us, I can't help but ask, who are these characters? It's concerning.
Sebastian walked out the front door. I have a hard time.
He admits to that, Trishy. He says he does, but we don't know. For all we know, he could be Clue's husband, dude. We don't know. We have no idea. That first channel that he had, he was insane. He was constantly playing like he was Ellie. It was insane. Now that channel's gone. In my opinion, he was constantly, there's still some phone calls up where you can hear where he was acting that way. When he would talk about law enforcement stuff, he'd be like, you know, just, oh, I don't know. It's just uncomfortable, the whole thing. When you listen to what Chris says about keeping your family, only trusting this and that, how he explains lawyers, the whole thing, just awfully uncomfortable. I'm going to play you guys something because I want you to remember why, I have been on alert, and I don't think this is funny at all, what Clue is doing with the trolling. I don't think it's funny. I think it's dangerous. And when we have people like Chris all the way in May saying that Seth needs to get rid of the people on his team, but he's enabling these people, you'll see. It's just really, really concerning.
stomaching what's after that, because, you know, I haven't had the feeling that he has left. You know, we've talked about this, Clue, not to go all serious, but it's reality. And I haven't had the feeling that he's not with us. So that's a positive. But there's questions like, where could a young man be for 85 days? You know? And so with that, I have to think, well, there's somebody else involved. And I just
Oh, Lord Jesus. Here we go with the buffering. Oh, my goodness. Oh, getting to the end. And it just has to act up. Has to. There we go again. Almost done. Thank you guys for hanging in there. We're getting there. Yes, he said that he had a felony. He said so, yeah. That's what elevated truth. I'm just going off all these people's words. I only can speak on things that I hear them saying, you know. So sometimes, you know, you can say, oh yeah, they said this, they said that, they said it, and then you find out it's not even true. Like, woof, it's crazy. The comments about whether Sebastian's with us or not and his gut feelings, it's like, what are you talking about? Who are you? Why did you make a channel only for Sebastian? It's weird. But it's not weird to Chris Proudfoot and associates, apparently. None of this is weird to them. And if this is the type of team that he wanted Seth to have, oh my goodness, come on. I mean, really, do you put that into
Lie
retrospect?
detector.
Putting it into the perspective that he said that Seth had to get rid of his team and reevaluate the people close to him and the creators and yada yada. This is the team that he surrounded himself with. They used the word team, not me. Crabtree, he's the one that said that his team is him, Clue, Cletus, and then they go to SF because he's the professional that directly goes to Chris. He gave this whole explanation. He said, I came on to make this statement. I'm not kidding. I have it recorded. We've played it before over the Crimson thing. It's like so disturbing, all of this.
I definitely, my personal advice is real easy. Do not, under any circumstance, drink the Kool-Aid. Don't. Stay quiet. Do exactly as law enforcement is telling you to do. Keep your family together. And it's going to be tough because there's always going to be somebody thinking or saying one thing because they're just human. They are. But if you can keep the family close and don't go to any type of social media platform, stay away from them. Until you can get with law enforcement to break this down a lot better. If you must go to a news outlet or social media, if you want a spokesperson, get one. But use a law firm, use a lawyer, use a law firm as a spokesperson. And no, I'm not saying lawyer up, but use a spokesperson from a professional standpoint that is very proven to be what they are.
Well,
and let them handle it.
And I saw this question in chat earlier, and I was going to ask it, but we got into other conversation. But does law enforcement or any of government organization have anybody that is sort of an advocate for families in these situations?
Believe it or not, there's not. All the PIOs or PAOs, whatever you want to call them, there's not one for the family. If you want one, you have to get your own. You know, TBI has their law enforcement spokesperson. This the Sumner County Sheriff's Department Deputy Chief Craddock. He's like their spokesperson. He does a lot of that. But yeah, no, there's, you know, we asked. I was like, you know, is there something like that that's offered? Should we? You know, they're like, we don't offer that, but you can definitely seek out your own.
Yeah.
And I'm not on the bashing train, but I will say this much: in this situation, I personally think Seth should reevaluate the whole deal. I would push people back out, keep them at arm's distance, and don't let them get close. You know.
No, I don't know if anybody is. I don't know where your standing is on with the spokesperson.
Just waiting for this last part.
2:43 in the morning. I got hungry, so oh.
So you can understand why it's important for us to be vocal and stay out there, because a lot of us are worried about our safety, I believe. It's sad. It's so sad. Exactly. Hey, Jude. But to sit
When
there,
they did their interviews with
team, when this is the team that you've surrounded yourself with, it's so bad now that, I mean, they're just fully talking, fully admitting to trolling and doxing. And I mean, it's just unreal.
At it, but it was just somebody that is, you know, used to this area, used to the environment and things like that. But you know,
right,
just
so right, and Tony would be equivalent to what Mr.
Buffering, come on.
Dingman is. I guess Tony, he's got the knack. He helped the Harris case, whatever, because he worked with the Harris father and
yeah,
whatnot.
no.
So that's my advice would be stay away from all of that and go find a law firm that specializes in this. And the reason why I say that is because there is pieces of like details that law enforcement do not.
There's pieces of evidence that law enforcement does not want out. Could there have been luminol? Could there have been other things that have, I'm just saying.
Absolutely want out there, period. There's not. You know, they had many discussions with me and Katie and said, do not release this information. Do not say this and don't say this. And there were some instances that Seth has slipped and let some information fly.
We all know that's not how it is. Law enforcement is never going to release to anybody, especially parents, if they don't want it to the public. They're going to release things and they're going to try to follow who it goes to, why, your reaction, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
And that's where I think by having a lawyer or law firm do it for you, you're safe. They know what they would be allowed to say, what not.
They know the rules. Did you hear that? They know the rule. What? They know what the, yeah.
Not to say, lawyer or law firm do it for you. You're safe. They know what they would be allowed to say, what not to say. Much better way of putting the information out there than getting trapped. You know, and I'm gonna say this. I think some folks, when they did their interviews with Seth, should have stopped. There are certain things that they said and brought up. They should have stopped. Don't start going down rabbit holes.
100%.
You know,
agree with that.
And
Yeah,
I
I
think
guess
that's where a
because,
lot of things went down wrong. It was just because of that.
well, I think there's some emotional
So I guess basically all of us were going down a rabbit hole that we weren't allowed. We weren't supposed to question the weird behavior in the Facebooks. We weren't supposed to question what Cluminati was doing and these other people were doing when everybody's trying to help find Sebastian.
manipulation, and not all of that is necessarily on purpose either. I genuinely try to see the good in people as much as I can. You know what I mean? With the understanding that most people are just fucked up in general. But, you know, let's just, I don't know.
Yeah, it's unique, you know, but I staying on the safer side and just having like a
Most people are effed up in general. No, we're not. I think we all fall on the spectrum, so to speak. I say that a lot because I do. I think we all can fall on the autism spectrum. We all have our differences. We all have our likes and dislikes. But the way that they're talking right now, in terms of the fact that Sebastian's only gone 80 days, and take in everything that you just heard, just the little bits of what we heard, it's concerning. It really is.
yeah, it's unique, you know, but I staying on the safer side and just having like a lawyer or law firm do it for you, you're protected by doing it that way. Let's put it that way. If you stay protected, stay in that realm, keep it very narrow scape, like just one lane. Here it is. We're not deviating. We're not going off course. We're not doing this. It's right there. And that's what they need to do. And that's it.
I agree
I'm
with
assuming.
Tim. I agree with Tim. The only person who can stop all that madness is Seth.
I can agree with that as well. Although like I said, I understand.
Person that can stop all of this is Seth. So basically, all of us that keep talking about these red flags, these inconsistencies, is if Seth would have just stopped, then everything would be fine. I mean, this is just unreal. How about if you stopped? You guys never stop. You never stop. And it doesn't do anything to find Sebastian. It doesn't do anything to get answers.
Understand where Seth is coming from. He's grasping at straws the same way I'm sure y'all are, just not publicly, right? But it's just the manner in which it's all being done. It's just gotten so grimy, you know. And I think that you've come
Remember, this is only 80 days. There's no green team. Tony just came into this. Like, this is very early on.
out and spoke a couple times, and I don't know if that helped very much either, even though I'm sure you had the right, you know, thought when you did it. The same way I think that Seth, for the most part, has the right, you know, he all he wants to do is find his son too. But I just think all of this has just turned into shit, and it's got to be stopped.
It is. And I agree with that. I mean, like, some people are like, well, you didn't do yourself any justice. You know what? It's not about doing justice for myself. It's not. You know, it goes back to where some people have to understand, like people kept poking a bear and you poke a bear and you're going to get the things that you don't like. And it's not a personal attack, but you got to understand I'm not going to let people just freely, willy nilly keep doing the things that they did. It's not right. You don't have the right information. You know, if you had the truth, you wouldn't be spouting out the information you have, because absolutely you wouldn't. Just because you'd have false information, why would you do that?
So I want to hear this.
It's not a personal attack, but you got to understand I'm not going to let people just freely, willy nilly keep doing the things that they did. It's not right. You don't have the right information.
So none of us had the right. to ask questions. None of us had the right if we spoke out and then were concerned about some of those statements that were made in Facebook or on social media. Is that what this all is? Because that's what it sounds like to me.
You know, if you had the truth, you wouldn't be spouting out the information you have, because absolutely you wouldn't. Just because you'd have false information, why would you do that? I don't know. I don't get why people did what they did, but it's okay. It's done and over with. You can't fix the past, you know. But
Well, listen, I appreciate you answering my questions. I'm about ready to call it a night. It's
Yeah,
super late.
I was just
So they're leaving. And don't forget, he said that he was mad at Seth about telling Nancy Grace what happened. That's what I was trying to pull up, but then the buffering was just being ridiculous. Was that quote about him being upset because Seth told them what happened. Very disturbing.
information out. And he told me, he's like, well, Seth is coming on. Here's some rhetoric or whatever. That's well, Seth made a mistake when he went out there and he went on a show and he started running his mouth saying what happened. He should have never done that. Seth made a mistake when he went out there and he went on a show and he started running his mouth.
And he opened what? Opened a can of worms? Is that what what he was about to say? I don't know.
Saying what happened. He should have never done that. And quite honestly, the Prolificer should have never gave him.
Did you notice? And he wants Seth to get rid of his team and get people on their team, right? Him and Clueless and Truth and all them are giving all this advice. But then this was allowed to happen in August. This was Sebastian's vigil in August.
It takes a lot to get me like out of the house because I'm just like, I like home. It takes a lot to get me like out of the house because I'm just like, It takes a lot to get me like out of the house because I'm just like, I like home. But Beyonce was like kind of pushing, like, I mean, if anything, we can just.
It'll settle in a second.
It takes a lot to get me like out of the house because I'm just.
Any minute now. Any day now. Come on. Come on, YouTube.
It takes a lot to get me like out of the house because I'm just.
Well, this is ridiculous. This is really ridiculous. Ridiculous. One moment. Or 5 or 10. I don't understand YouTube. But I'm definitely going to have my friend
It
run
takes
it.
a lot to get me like out of the house because I'm just.
the next show is going to be run. I'm going to have my friend run it. So that way I just don't have to deal with all this and I could just talk. And you guys don't have to because your patience is amazing.
It takes a lot to get me like out of the house because I'm just like, ugh.
I'm going to give you the link so you could just go watch it. Let me get the link for you, the direct link. One moment. Let's see. Where's the
Like
direct?
home, but fiance was like kind of pushing. Like, I mean, if anything, we can just go murdering and look around. And I'm like, fine, because I really did want to see. Like, I've been asking the question online, right? Are there billboards, not billboards and stuff? Well, little yard signs and stuff in Clarksville, right? Because you live here. Every person, because you keep telling people, right? Put out flyers, put out, bring awareness, da 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 da. And so it has been a question for me in my mind as to whether or not that has been done where you live. You know what I mean? And there's just not. Like it's really crazy to me. It's disappointing for sure, but I just don't know why. Like,
waiting on that last car.
I mean,
that's why I'm trying to tell you, wait, because you took.
Oh, there was another one coming behind me. Oh, well,
the last bike in that car came around us so that they could get back in the line because they were part of the ride.
Well, if someone would have let me murder the right way and put my flashes on.
Road captain, that's the word I'm looking for. Hellfire.
What? 100. Go straight.
There's Lucky.
What's up, guys?
Yeah.
Okay, so fiance and I decided to do a little murdering today. Y'all know that's what we call spying, okay? And I mean, it's beautiful out, y'all. It is a freaking gorgeous day. Sorry about the dirty ass windshield.
So what do you think of all that? What's your opinion on the people, I guess, that he thinks are okay to keep around, but Seth should get rid of the YouTubers and people that he has around? The link, in all credit, goes to the creator of that video where I just took those clips from, and that is the one and only Cluminate. It's still up. It's still public, of course. Moment. So yeah, pray for Sebastian, pray for Seth, pray for his family, and pray for all of us. For me, my family, if you guys are prayer warriors, that the truth comes to light and that everybody remains safe. Because there's just a lot of this that's been extremely disturbing, in my opinion. Beyond disturbing.
Well, let's keep watching.
And just because if you know,
This is one of the weird cryptic type of messages that Truth did. You know, I mean, there were so many of these odd, weird things that he said on that old channel.
But Truth and Clue, you guys don't talk to everyone, right? Let's go back to when you took your break over the summer. Why don't we go back to that?
now listen very carefully to what I'm about to say. All right? Just because you think you know doesn't mean you know anything. And just because at one point you believed one thing doesn't mean tomorrow you won't believe another. And if you keep opening your eyes in this case, the truth is right in front of you. Please understand, the truth is right in front of you. Okay? And I will leave it at that. I think that there are creators on here who absolutely are on the right track, but get distracted. Okay? Get distracted from what's really going on. And when that distraction happens, you should see who is doing the distraction. Because that is where y'all should start looking.
So wouldn't that be Illuminati? And you guys?
Yeah. And I'll leave it at that. Truth, I mean, Clue knows what I'm talking about. Y'all think that just because I got off of YouTube that I stopped working on this case? Y'all, that didn't happen.
No, and every day, pretty much, except for the weekend, we've been like on the
going
phone
over the case.
all
Yeah.
day.
And just because if you know,
Well, there's a lot of talk about God in this case. So he said that he's been working on the case. Just because he got off YouTube, he's still working the case.
that is where y'all should start looking.
Yeah.
And I'll leave it at that. Truth, I mean, Clue knows what I'm talking about. Y'all think that just because I got off of YouTube that I stopped working on this case? Y'all, that didn't happen.
No, and every day, pretty much, except for the weekend, we've been like on the
going
phone
over the case.
all
Yeah.
day.
So explain to me how Illuminati, who thinks it's okay to troll me, troll Julie, troll Brittany J, troll all these people, jokes about murdering at Sebastian's vigil, how her and this guy are working a case and Chris hasn't gotten rid of them. Absolutely horrendous. So pray for Sebastian, pray for everybody. Like I said, if you guys are prayer warriors and send love and positive light, and let me all know what you think in the comments. I hope you have a blessed rest of your Sunday. I'll be back for part 2, and I'm going to work on seeing if one of my friends wouldn't mind hosting for me in a different location in case my stream is being affected by all this nonsense. Because, you know, we have somebody saying that they are the best troll, and that's what they're here for, is to troll. So it is very possible that it is, you know, that it's on purpose. Because I will show you this as we leave. I am not, you know, making this up. This is what their public post is. This is what they said right here 9 days ago. I have to admit, trolling is my absolute favorite. And 2025 will be the year for me causing all kinds of bullshit on these streets. I have nothing but time and skill. Hashtag you're next. Disgusting. This is all disgusting. Law enforcement needs to know. General attorneys at this point need to know, because this is out of control. This shouldn't be allowed. This is sick, disturbing, and disgusting. And Sebastian needs justice. He needs answers. And none of us in our families or anybody that these people are doing this with should be put in harm's way. And that's what I see happening. And that's my concern. And it's absolutely disgusting. So I'm going to keep momming it up to the best of my ability. And I hope that you guys can do the same. Much love to you all, and God bless. I'll be in chat for a few minutes, okay? 411ccn@gmail.com if you'd like to email me.
Dad's on the streets, he's searching all night under the moon in the dim city light. Mom and stepdad nowhere in sight. Everyone's asking where is he tonight. It's whispers and shadows in every call, searching the alleys, walls to wall. YouTubers vlog, but they don't solve it all. Dad's the only one who stands tall. Lost in the noise, where's the truth? Missing tingle from his youth. Echoes of questions in every booth. Dad won't stop till he finds the proof. Why are they running? What's the story behind? Secrets unfold, but answers they find. Eyes of the world, but no one's kind. Dad's on the trail, losing his mind. So many distractions clouding our view. Media circus and the lies they construe. Hearts on fire and his love still true. Dad won't rest till the boy breaks through. Lost in the noise, where's the truth? Missing tingle from his youth. Echoes of questions in every booth. Dad won't stop till he finds the proof. Lost in the noise, where's the truth? Missing tingle from his youth. Echoes of questions in every booth. Dad won't stop till he finds the proof. Dad's on the streets, he's searching all night under the moon in the dim city light. Mom and stepdad nowhere in sight. Everyone's asking where is he tonight. It's whispers and shadows in every call, searching the alleys, walls to wall. YouTubers vlog, but they don't solve it all. Dad's the only one who stands tall. Lost in the noise, where's the truth? Missing tingle from his youth. Echoes of questions in every booth. Dad won't stop till he finds the proof. Why are they running? What's the story? Out on the streets, he's searching all night, under the moon in the dim city light. Mom and stepdad nowhere in sight. Everyone's asking, where is he tonight? It's whispers and shadows in every call, searching the alleys, wall to wall. YouTubers blog, but they don't solve it all. Dad's the only one who stands tall. Lost in the noise, where's the truth? Missing tinkle from his youth. Echoes of questions in every booth. Dad won't stop till he finds the proof. rhymes as I rock this tune. Sun's rolling in, he's got wheels on the move. Warrior on the front lines, respect overdue. Every day is a hustle, but I wouldn't trade it crew. Daughter shines bright, love her special ways. Gardener, true crime, I'm keeping busy all day. Counselor's wisdom, I'm here to stay. Momming it up, come what may. Momming it up, yeah, I'm living the dream. Love's battlefield never as hard as it seems. I'm dying for some wheelchairs, got my team. Giving my all, life is a stream. Chatting about mysteries in the midnight glow. Planting seeds of patience, watch them grow. Whoa, whoa, let the garden show. Momming it up, ain't got time for no slow. Daughter shines bright, love her special ways. Gardener, true crime, I'm keeping busy all day. Counselor's wisdom, I'm here to stay. Momming it up, come what may. Daughter shines bright, love her special ways. Gardener, true crime, I'm keeping busy all day. Counselor's wisdom, I'm here to stay. Momming it up, come what may. But momming it up, yeah, I'm living the dream. Love's battlefield never as hard as it seems. From diapers to wheelchairs, got my team.